Good evening, Judith. Well, the defection, since defection started hitting the opposition party in the National Assembly, it has been one that they haven't taken lightly. And when it started, one voice has been so vocal here in the National Assembly, and that is that of the minority leader of the House of Representatives, Kingsley Chinda. At every point when a defection notice is being announced on the floor of the House, he always rise to raise concern about certain section of the Constitution which the Speaker needs to take into cognizance, and that is Section 68 1G of the 1999 Constitution, stating that whenever a member defects, his seat should be declared vacant. He has been the only one so far who has been so vocal about these defections. Although some others at certain points have called for an amendment to the Constitution to make it very clear on what measures should be taken on any lawmaker who defects to other party. However, that has not been taken serious. But in terms of official statements, we haven't seen any official statement, of which we know about. There is no official statement, just concerns raised on the floor by the minority leader of the House of Representatives.
All right. Well, Sagir, now tributes are pouring in from both chambers for the late former President Buhari. What more can you tell us about this?
Judith, thank you so much for yes, tributes will be coming in, not just the Senate, but also on the floor of the House of Representatives as well. Lawmakers in their numbers took out time from across different divides comprising, states, comprising party and the likes of that, including religious affiliations, coming out to state how they have in one way or the other benefited from the generosity and the benevolence of the man, the legend, the former president of Nigeria, former President Muhammadu Buhari. Indeed, it was a somber moment and a time for somber reflections for most of these lawmakers who, in their different time allotted to them, spoke very highly of him, mentioning in spite of the several challenges that bedeviled his administration, he still managed to persevere, leaving the office as president with his integrity intact. So this basically characterized the valedictory session that was held for the former president and both chambers of the party.
Idong, I mean, in terms of the ideological differences between the APC and the PDP, how do we particularly expect the advantage of the APC will be in enjoying now just the influence in lawmaking?
When we started the assembly, let's start from when we started the assembly, we had about 82 opposition lawmakers in the House of Representatives and about 59 in the Senate, which gave opposition members more seats than the ruling All Progressives Congress. But as of today, we have about 130 or so in the House of Representatives. So that speaks volume of the voice of opposition lawmakers in the House, showing that their numbers have depleted in just 2 years. And this also affects their concerns on the floor of the House, because majorly most times when bills are being considered and they need to vote through a voice vote, with the number of opposition lawmakers, of which so many of them don't even come to plenary session, with their number, and the ruling party have the large majority of that number, they will definitely take the lead for the day in terms of lawmaking and even motions that are of concerns. And even whenever concerns that are raised that are not in their favor, if the majority are more in session at that particular sitting, then the ruling party will have the lead over such instance.
Right. And lastly, Sagir, there has been a lot of there's been a lot when it comes to recall the late former president. But beyond the eulogies, did the lawmakers say anything about maybe immortalizing him?
Not in any particular order. Yes, of course, they mentioned the need for the president to be remembered for a lot of the good works that he did to be remembered for his principle as a disciplinarian, as a no-nonsense person, a no-nonsense personality when it comes to issues regarding shoddy dealings, issues regarding corruption. Some even mentioned a particular time when, he wanted to buy his nomination form as at that time to contest for the president of the country, recalling how as at the time he didn't have enough in terms of the cost of the form, but rather opted to take a loan from the bank to get the form instead of opting for somebody to pay for him. Another gave an example of the situation where they had started to crowdfund for resources for his campaign, and an individual had donated around 200 million naira or thereabouts for the campaign, and he had batted an eyebrow saying he doesn't understand how somebody would have so much money and would want the person to be investigated. I mean, this characterizes the kind of individual and the kind of life that he led. So while they believe strongly that there is a need to remember him for his principles, no particular order was raised regarding the need to immortalize him, even though we know, of course, that the presidency had, in its own wisdom, moved to rename the University of Maiduguri after the former late president, a decision of which is, of course, still generating a lot of controversy in the media space. So, no, not particularly.
Well, we wait to see how it will all pan out. Gentlemen, thank you so much. Sagir Ibrahim, our correspondent from the National Assembly as well, of course, as well as Idong Joseph, also our correspondent from the House of Representatives. Gentlemen, thank you for joining us.